What happens to abandoned property after bankruptcy? Have you ever wondered what really happens to property that gets abandoned during bankruptcy? It's an important topic that affects many people. Let's break it down. In bankruptcy, abandoned property refers to assets that the bankruptcy trustee decides not to manage or sell for the benefit of creditors. This often happens when the property is either too burdensome or has little value. The bankruptcy trustee plays a key role in this process. Their job is to look into the debtor's assets and figure out which non-exempt property can be sold to pay off debts. If the trustee finds that selling certain property would not bring in enough money after covering costs, they may choose to abandon it. This decision is made to avoid wasting time and resources on items that won't help the creditors. When property is abandoned, it is no longer part of the bankruptcy estate. This means ownership goes back to the debtor or, in some cases, to a creditor who has a legal claim to it, like a lender with a lien. The trustee usually files a formal notice of abandonment. This notice informs creditors that the property will not be sold and that control is returned to the debtor. Creditors then understand that this property will not be used to pay off debts during the bankruptcy process. If the trustee does not file a notice but also does not manage the property, it may be automatically considered abandoned once the bankruptcy case closes. However, if the property was hidden or not disclosed in filings, it typically remains under the trustee's control. Interestingly, either creditors or the debtor can ask the court to order the trustee to abandon property. This can happen if it is shown that the property has no value or if keeping it would harm the debtor. Since trustees earn their fees based on the funds they distribute to creditors, they often prefer to abandon property that won't benefit the estate. In summary, abandoned property after bankruptcy goes back to the debtor or the rightful legal owner. The trustee's decision to abandon property follows bankruptcy law, which requires proper notice and sometimes court approval. This process helps streamline bankruptcy by focusing on assets that can actually help pay off debts. Understanding these steps can help you navigate the complexities of bankruptcy more effectively.